It was a friendship, a dear friendship between two nations. From that historical meeting between the leaders together, they kicked off numerous projects to sustain in the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of the Americas as an opportunity of justice for the most needed in that region in the pursuit of that equality. He went from the very small details. Cuba is more than a physical space. Cuba is for us a spiritual space in which we are all reflected in the midst of the difficulties, but with the greatest potentialities and great opportunities to improve our life. If I spoke about Cuba, my tears will come. We have been offering a friendly hand, their generosity, and of course, what we always saw as the revolutionary idea of Cuba from internationalism. Cuba never lost out of sight any country from Latin America, but he always had a communication that was a conjunction with Chavez. Unfortunately, lasted very little, but it was enough to seed the victory, a legacy that will prevail for the centuries to come. From then, the mutual solidarity constitutes one of the essence defended by both countries, a friendship that overcomes sacrifices, in which the faith prevails in the well-being of both societies, the integrity between General-in-Chief Raúl Castro, and also marks the continuity of the bilateral cooperation in key sectors and projects of development for the nations. Venezuela shows once again to the world how it is defending its sovereignty, that is always so a common struggle of the peoples of the South with the purpose of maintaining and preserving peace in the face of the escalations of the U.S. aggressions. Cubans close to these people knows this, and that is why in Cuba and Venezuela it was supported the declaration of the revolutionary government to accompany the South American country in this process. Over 1 million signatures joined the struggle of the Bolivarian nation with the leadership of the Communist Party of Venezuela and the President of the Republic, Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermudez. They repudiate the military escalation of the U.S. and reaffirm their commitment of supporting Venezuela in this political context. It is the moral duty with Fidel and Chavez that demand transformations in the face of the communicational warfare in a world in which it is on the rise, the fascism. Also, there is an ethnic component in this struggle that is brutal, which is this offensive, this escalation of the Yankees against Venezuela truly violates all of the principles of international law of coexistence to put a price on the head of a president democratically elected by his people, to invent all of this story of the cartel of the suns. You can see how lies have been used as a permanent tool to take away the legitimacy of our leaders. Venezuela is a symbol of resistance in the complex scenario of a possible deployment of militias of the U.S. in Latin America. Once again, Cuba is accompanying the land of Bolívar and Chavez for the sake of justice and peace.